Welcome back to another class. Today we're going to study even and odd numbers. The lesson objective for today is I can use different strategies to identify odd and even numbers. What is an even number? An even number is a multiple of 2. That means that any number multiplied times 2 is going to be an even number. For example, 3 times 2 is going to be 6. 6 is going to be an even number because it's the product of a multiplication times 2. Remember, the two numbers we multiply are called factors, and the answer is the product. Now, another thing we need to remember is that the factors are the parts, and the product is the whole. Now, if a multiple of 2 is an even number, we can tell too that a number that is divisible by 2 is going to be an even number too. So let's prove that. If we remember, division and multiplication are opposite, and they do related factors. So I can tell that a number, any number divided by 2, if you can divide it exactly with no remainder at all, is going to be an even number. For example, 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. Remember here too that the whole is going to be the dividend, the 2 is going to be the divisor, and the 3, the answer to the division, is going to be the quotient. And the same, because it's the reverse operation, the dividend is going to be the whole, and the divisor and the quotient are going to be the parts. So let's do one more example about multiples of 2. For example, let me take this away, these two numbers away, and then we're going to have, for example, a number of 5 times 2 is going to be 10. So because we're multiplying by 2, 10 is going to be an even number. Or if we divide 10 by 2, the answer, the quotient, is going to be 5. So 10 is an even number because it's divisible by 2. Let's use this 100 chart to find all the multiples of 2 so we can find the even numbers. So we know that 2 is a multiple of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. At this point, we can find that there's a pattern because all the numbers that finish in 2 are going to be multiples of 2. I mean, even numbers. All the numbers finishing in 4 are multiples of 2. Therefore, they are even numbers, the same as all the numbers that finish in 6, in 8, and in 0. We can tell now that all even numbers finish in 0, 2, 4, 6, or the number 8. There are two ways to prove if a number is even. For example, if I have the number 14, I want to know if this is even or not. So I'm going to represent the number with base 10 blocks. I have 1 10, and for ones, now I have the number 14. Now, to find out, I'm going to focus on the ones. So I have 4 ones. And if I can group this in groups of 2, because multiplication is making groups of 2, then I can notice that this is an even number because I have 2 groups of 2. There's no reminders, so 14 is a multiple of 2. And I know because the factor missing is 7, and 7 times 2 is going to be 14. So 14 is an even number. The other way to find out if it's an even number is by using division. So in this case, I'm going to divide 14 into equal groups. To do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to regroup the 10 into ones so I can divide it into equal groups. Now, I'm going to start dividing 14 into 2 equal groups. So this is going to be 5 and 5 makes a 10, and the 2 and 2 that we had before make the 4. So 10 plus 4 is going to make 14. Now if you notice, each group has 7. So I have 2 equal groups of 7. So my answer to my division is going to be 7, because I can divide 14 exactly into 2 equal groups. Then 14 is going to be an even number. So what is an odd number? An odd number is not a multiple of 2 and is not divisible by 2. So that means that if I have a number like, for example, 25, I cannot find a multiple of 2 that gives me 25. Let's look at the 100 chart that we have from before. If you notice that 25 is not one multiple of 2, so therefore it's not going to be an even number. There's nothing that multiplied times 2 is going to give me the answer 25. So 25 is not an even number. Now we have to try to do the same as we did before to separate 25 into 2 equal groups. Let's see what we can do. So let me put the 25 counters, 10, 20, and 25. And let's remember what we did the first time. The first time we were trying to do pairs of numbers. Pairs means counting by twos. So I'm going to focus again in the ones, and I'm going to try to group them by twos. 2, 4, and 1, 5. If you notice, this one was left alone. It does not have a pair. And because it doesn't have a pair, it's going to be an odd number. Now let's try to divide it into 2 equal groups. I can divide the tens first, 1 10 in this group and 1 10 in this group. So far it's equal. I'm going to put these 2 here, these 2 ones here, and these 2 other ones in the other side. So far equal, 14 and 14. But then I have this one left. If I put it here, this one is going to have 13 and this one is going to have 12. So that does not make equal groups. So therefore we're going to have one piece as a reminder. So what's going to be my reminder? So let's do the division. 25 divided by 2, the answer is going to be 12 because each group has 12, but I have one left. The piece left is going to be called reminder. And the reminder is going to be a number 1 because one piece is left alone. So that's going to be my reminder. Therefore, the number 25 is not an even number, it's an odd number. If we look at the 100 chart again, we'll notice that the number 1, number 3, 5, 7, and 9 are not even numbers because they are not multiples of 2. Therefore, all the numbers that finish with the digit 1, digit 3, digit 5, digit 7, and digit 9 are odd numbers. Odd numbers finish with digits 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Let's solve the problems. Number 36, is that even or odd? Now, if we divide it, remember, the first thing we have to do is represent the number. 30 plus 6 makes 36. Here it is. Now remember, we're going to focus in the ones. The ones are 6, and I can see that we can pair them by 2's. So I know it's an even number. Just to prove it even better, I'm going to divide it into equal groups. 10 and 10, I need to break this 10 into 10 ones, that's 6, and 4 more is another 10, so I'm going to split those in 5. 5 in this group, 5 in this group, and then 2 for this group, 2 for this group, and then 1 for each. Now when we put them together, we're going to notice that we have 18 in this group and 18 in this group. So we can divide equally the number 36 into two groups, and the answer is going to be 18. So because I was able to divide it into two groups, I know now that 36 is an even number. Now let's try a different number. Let's try the number 49. So 49, is that even or odd? So the first thing we're going to do is to represent the 49. That's 3, 8, and 9. Now we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 9 ones. Now remember, to see if it's odd or even, I'll focus only on the ones. And when I start doing the pairs, 2, 2, 2, and 2, I notice that there's one left alone. So I know now that this is an odd number. 49 is an odd number. Let's prove it doing the division. Now, I will see that if I divide it into two equal groups, I can have 2 tens here, 2 tens here. Let me put 2 ones, 2 ones. That's 4 ones, 4 ones, and oops, I have only one left. So I notice now that the answer for this one is going to be 24, because each group has 24, but I have one left. So when we have one left, we put an R. That stands for the word remainder. That means that how many are left, and 1 is going to be the remainder. So we're going to put the remainder 1. So now we know that 49 is an odd number. Let's do a couple more. So 54, even or odd? Well, it's even. Why? Because it finishes with the digit 4. 15, even or odd? Well, it's odd because the ones is a 5, and when the number finishes in a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, it's an odd number. 23, even or odd? Odd number because the number in the ones place is a 3. 72, even or odd? It's even because it finishes in 2. 81, even or odd? It's odd number because it finishes in digit 1. Well, this is it for today. Try to find more numbers and classify them in even or odd. Bye, see you next time.